Busted, of course, back at home on Saturday, a bit of an earlier kick-off, which is, I suppose, a bit unusual for yourself. So, I mean, with that being an earlier game, has that changed preparations at all? I suppose, obviously, you'll be meeting at a different time and things like that, but does it make much of a difference at all in that sense?
No, not really, not as a group. Obviously, individually, the boys are going to have the pre-match a little bit earlier. The breakfast probably becomes the pre-match, so they're going to have to think about that a little bit more. But other than that, we haven't changed any training times or schedule, anything like that. The boys just going to get here a little bit earlier than normal. And yeah, we're all just really buzzing, looking forward to the game.
Yeah, and in terms of how the lads have been this week, obviously, I suppose, with last weekend's game being that much of a journey, did it take a little more like recovery time off the back of that to kind of get acclimatised to back in being training this week?
Not really, no. Obviously, Mike's been absent through illness, so we asked the boys at the start of the week to really step up and try and all individually kind of fill that gap what Mike leaves, and the boys have responded really well. So we've had a really good week's training. The energy, the intensity's been sky high, the focus has really been there, and that's a credit to the boys and the coaching staff as well. So yeah, we've had a really good week, and we're just really looking forward to kind of finish that week off tomorrow with a good performance.
Tomorrow's game, obviously being a home game against Aldershot, who obviously had a good win last time out, but at the moment are in sort of the bottom half, so fans look at it as a game that they feel like is a must win when people put tags on it and things like that. But with obviously recent results for yourselves, having a win and a draw, do you feel any extra pressure to almost build on momentum or back things up by getting another win here, or is it very much still game by game and isolating things?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any pressure. Obviously, we want to win the game. They're probably looking at us thinking that they should be coming here and winning the game as well with our league position, which is why we don't focus too much on that. We focus the day to day, and then we take it a game at a time. We've watched them. They've got some good players in this league. It's just filled with some really good players, and they've got some in their ranks as well. So we've looked at what their strengths are and how they can hurt us. We've looked at what the weaknesses are and how we can exploit them, and we've tried to put together a game plan this week that we're hoping comes together tomorrow. And we've kind of left no stone unturned. We've been done a lot of detail on them as well as ourselves, and trying to improve the little things that we felt that we lacked last week. So we're really hoping that all that comes together and we just put on a good performance tomorrow, and then the result comes with a performance.
Yeah, and in terms of obviously availability from the boys, obviously Greg's missed games recently through injury. He was one who you were hoping would possibly be able to be back involved on Saturday. So I mean, what's the situation on him at the moment?
Yeah, it just came a little bit too soon for him. So he picked up a calf niggle. He travelled to Yeovil. We trained the day before Yeovil. We trained at Forest Green halfway down. He couldn't finish the warm up, so obviously it was a little bit more serious than what we thought, and then he's had a couple of weeks off now. Spoke to him this morning. He said it's the best it's felt, so we're not too far away with it, but tomorrow's just that little bit too soon for him. But as you said last week, we were hoping to have him back available for tomorrow, which really obviously strengthens us, and now we're looking at sort of in 2 weeks' time we know that he'll be back for then, and he'll have had a lot of training sessions under his belt, which is better for everyone.
Yeah, and in terms of longer term absentees, of course, Robbie Tinkler's been absent for a little while now. He's been back getting in the mix in training a little bit now, sort of easing himself back into things. And as well, obviously, Lewis Knight's had a couple of times where he's been having a ball at his feet, kicking a ball again. So, I mean, how far away are those two as well?
So Tinks is a lot closer than what he has been. Obviously, he's looking at possibly being in contention for tomorrow. Knighty we're still really cautious with Knighty. There's still some issues there with the groin. He's not totally pain free, and he's not totally comfortable with everything. So we just need to do some more checks on that to see exactly if there is going to be any reoccurrence with the injury, and deciding really once we get the results back on that what road we decide to go down with Knighty. He's training really hard. As I say, Belly's been putting him through his paces, and he's doing everything what he should do, but there's still some discomfort there, so we're going to have to reassess that and have a look at it again, and then obviously Belly will decide on what the best road is for Knighty to come back. But he is getting better, he is getting stronger. It's just a case of not getting too carried away with it, and we bring him back gradually rather than, as I've said before, putting him straight back in there and then losing him again for however long.
away from the injuries, I suppose you'll have another enforced absentees this weekend through suspension. Obviously, Carl Magner picked up his 5th at Torquay last weekend. Obviously, he's been playing pretty regularly this season, whether it's centre-back or full-back. Obviously, put in another shift at the weekend, and Camille as well, who's been in the team, pretty much ever since he signed, has been at the heart of the midfield. So obviously them two are going to be a miss at the weekend, but again, is it going to be a bit of a shot on the pack, I suppose, on the back of those two not being available?
Yeah, Mags has been unbelievable. Obviously the stage he's at in his career, he's a real leader. He's patched himself up every week, and he's just continued to churn out performances. He's unbelievable within the change room. He's great to have around the club. He's been such a good signing for us when we brought him in last year. Obviously he misses out tomorrow, so we're going to have to look and see who we can put in there right back. And we've got a couple of options, and then Cam has been really good since he came in. He gives us something different to what the other midfielders do. He levels them in terms of the energy and the intensity that he brings as well, and obviously he's very good on the ball, and he makes good decisions, so we're going to miss having him in there, but he's been brilliant since he came in. So again, we've got options that we can use to put in there. We've got lads coming back from injury. We can move people in positions where that's a kind of strength of ours, where we've got a couple of boys who play in different positions, and we can change the formation if we need to do that. So them's kind of discussions that we're having now, that we've had during the week. We've looked at different things, and then ultimately the gaffer will make the decision on that, on what he wants to go with.